Hey, welcome. Mossy Oak Moments Live, week 10. And the last one. Man, it's been a great run. It's getting close to Christmas. Hope you got your Christmas shopping done. If not, hey, Mossy Oak Store, go to the Mossy Oak Store online. They got tons of stuff. Plenty of bottomland, sweats, vests, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully you got it done. But if you hadn't, check them out. Hey, this week, lots of stuff coming up. More whitetails, more duck footage. All coming up right here, Mossy Oak Moments Live, last week, week 10. Hey, coming up some straight hunting. Guess where they're at? They're hunting ducks in Arkansas. Imagine that. I've been over there. I've had to film that stuff over there. Man, that's a good place. Couple of guys, old John Tatum and Sarge, Rusty McDaniels. Hey, they love that stuff. Y'all check this out.
So every year when December rolls around, of course, all of us at Mossy Oak are thinking whitetails and the Mississippi rut. But also, a lot of us at Mossy Oak are thinking ducks.
2019-2020 duck season, I came to this exact location, which is Prairie Sky Duck Club with Guy Shepherd and DUTV.
So John ended up getting in touch with Scott James, who's a part of this duck club here in Arkansas where we are, and lo and behold, it didn't take but about a day and we had this deal set up and we were fired up. It was going to be John and I coming up to hunt with Scott and his good buddy Danny, and we were going to get in the duck blind, get in the pit and see if we couldn't kill some ducks. So here we are. Two to the right. Kind of high. From the right, low, here they come. Nope. Turn back around. Turn. There he comes, there he comes, there he comes. Kill him, kill him. Good shot. See it? That'll work. That'll work. Oh my God. Come around from the right. Get a gun. Hurry up. Grab a gun. Nice.
He did too. Here.
That'll work right there, boys.
Out front.
Easy right there, goddamn screen.
Kill him. Nice, guys.
We got 3, didn't we?
3 out of the 5, yep. Atta boy.
We doing it now.
These guys were a little bit difficult. Top left. Get close, get a hold my mouth. Right out now. Nice. Got the low one and the high one. Yeah. Man, them things, when they decide they want to come, they just, all right, that's it. That's crazy how they split. That was awesome. Go. We didn't get him on this end. Y'all cleaned him up for us, boys. Another gadwall, ain't it?
Oh, it's a gadwall.
Huh?
Gadwall.
Yeah, that's a gad.
That boy smoke.
30. You may not have got that one. It was so quick.
Somebody did.
And they sneaking up on us.
I think it's a gadwall, ain't it?
Yeah.
Of course.
That'll work. Fellas, what y'all think? Turned into a pretty eventful shoot, huh?
So far,
I'm getting bashed.
if we can get John to hit something, he's claimed every duck in this bed.
No, I have not. No, I have not.
Hey, he shoots about as well as he hears.
Hey, every duck blind's got a duck claimer, don't it? Every hunt, there's somebody claiming duck.
I ain't claimed no
Is
duck.
that you?
I claimed 1 or 2.
One or two.
Hey, here's the deal. Next time a signal comes in, it's all you, John. And if you miss, we're gonna switch camera guys.
Ooh.
Okay.
You better shoot 3 times so I'm gonna back you up.
Okay.
Gotta joke and have fun.
Oh yeah.
Coming back. All right. Low right, Jody, low right.
Oh. Did it, boys. Woohoo!
That sounded good.
Dead gummit.
All right, you got the mojo off of you.
You know what they say, if they're still in the air, there's a chance. No.
Down the pipe.
He coming this way?
Yeah.
Yep.
Low.
Low right. Hugging the water line, hit it all the way.
Low, low. Get ready.
I see him.
All right, John, it's all you, buddy.
Kill it, John.
Finishing. Nice. Got us a smiley.
John, great shot, buddy.
I did not hit that duck.
Yes,
you
you
did.
did. God, I love it.
That's crazy what that duck did.
Yeah.
He flew way over yonder, made a loop, and just come all the way back.
You know why?
That's funny.
He said, "Buddy, I'm gonna make John earn it."
Nice shot. Another spoon. Now where'd that one come from? He's a little high here. The decoys. The decoys.
Holy cow!
Nice!
Nice, Tatum.
What a shot!
Did you do that?
I didn't do that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Look at that.
Right as I said, he's too far. John
Hey,
said, not for me.
You know what it was?
Gadwall.
He grinned him down.
No, get decoy. Get decoy.
Good shot, Lefty.
Sorry, Rusty.
That's all right, I ducked.
I saw you ducking.
You see that? Lefty got it.
I knew that was coming, so I just went.
Well, I backed off, and then I saw you duck, so.
I was fixing to shoot him through this hole right
Look at
here.
the dog race.
Coming back from the left, they're low, they're low, they're low. Hey, one's better than none. That top group was pretty far. Coming back, low right, gadwall, low right.
Had it all over him.
Break it here.
Here they come. Here they come. Two raining.
Woo!
Good shooting, guys.
You got at least 2.
Or not shoot, hitting.
There you go, boys. Load on the deck.
You see the difference that jerk string made though when he came back?
Big time. Good shooting.
Get that.
We got him. Well, guys, couldn't ask for much better this morning. A great shoot, good fellowship,
Yes, sir.
good conditions.
Made some new friends.
Heck yeah. Thanks to Scott and you guys, both of y'all, for inviting us and having us. And we had some Mossy Oak moments out here this morning.
Yep.
It's kind of cool to see through the progression of the morning. There was another guy that went with us, Mr. Danny Strickland. Never met him before. It's kind of cool to see him, us open up to him and him open up to us, and basically create just a new friendship through waterfowling, which that's what it's for.
Man, we ended up having a great shoot. We ended up with, I don't know, 20 or so birds. It wasn't quite a limit, but we certainly don't base, success or failure of a hunt on whether or not you got your limit. We had a limit full of fun, I'll say that. But it was 4 of us in there and we got dadgum close to our limit and we were fired up. We had a good time. That was what was the most important. Sharing the pit with new friends and old friends and just having a blast. And the best thing about it all is we get to go again tomorrow.
You got that right.
Do it again.
You got a game plan, boss?
Not yet. I've got some good reports, so we just got to put some eyes on the ground and see what it's like.
Well, let's go get these cleaned up and taken care of. We'll get a good meal and tomorrow morning will be here before we know it.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, fellas. That was a fun hunt.
With my eyes to the sky,
The second most in a game in his career. Russell Westbrook, 17 points, 12 rebounds, 14 assists. He scored or assisted on 7 of the 16 clutch time points, 16 of the 36 points.
Nothing screams 3 a.m. like Pilot gas station coffee. Well, it's a little before 4 o'clock, and it is feeling a whole lot like duck season. We've rolled across the river this morning, going speckle belly hunting with our buddy Jarrett Prince and the guys at Sunken Land Outfitters. So if all goes as planned, we're going to interrupt some of the candidate footage and give you a little bit of speckle belly, gut mashing. These boys have absolutely been thumping them, and we decided it was time for us to get on some thumpage ourselves. So here's to it. Speckle belly gut smashing this morning. More decoys. I was friends. I had her back in the day. Wow. Had to move the old pig weed. They did. Love it. Jarrett and the boys made a big shift this morning. Picked up the skinnies and put out full bodies. So I guess they've got about 8 or 9 dozen full bodies. First 2 groups ate it up good. They're pretty fired up. Good game time adjustment. Almost no wind this morning too. So.
That was so pretty.
Tell me about it.
That looked like Smokey, man. I mean, that was a solid spin right there. We just need a little bit of wind, man.
That's good.
I've been very.
They wanted to go down there,
There's on my
but
back there probably.
you're just gonna have to. You just got to stay on them because they've been called at for 12 days now.
Never leave the blind without a gun.
Learned that a long time ago.
Boy, heard it. Look how pretty that goose is right there, barred up. Man, that's pretty there. Jarrett's got his too. Goodness.
Woo-wee.
That's a wrap. We needed 3. That was a big wad. 2 guys shot. So, man, that was wild.
I bet you can't hit your first 3 shots this morning.
Are we doing this?
Yeah. You can't do it.
All right, if we got 3 singles, the first 3 singles are mine.
That's fine. You've been
Okay.
talking about how good of a shot you are all week.
I'm just saying, roll the footage back.
All right.
Roll the footage back.
All right, let's see. I bet you can't do it. "10 minutes before shooting light here. We're all set up, just waiting for it to become legal. We got a couple ducks working our spread here already this morning. A bunch of snows. We can hear them off to the southwest here at the roost. We do have another group set up over here about half a mile away in the field next to us. So we got a little bit of competition, but part of it for North Dakota. There's people driving around like crazy. Wind's blowing strong. We should have a good hunt here. You ready?
Sounds like they're doing a lot of Yeah, do they all pay for it, or does every... No.
I missed on the second one, but
I put $2
still killed them both.
No bird! Kill him, kill him! Oh! Got him! That's as big as you get for a lesser snow goose. Get in. Get in. Get in. We don't care about the ducks. Ducks, look at this Roscoe. Dude. Oh, Wardy McGee. That is old Wardy McGee. Kill that pair. We've got, I don't know, probably 50 pack of snows. It's been good. We had some guys set up behind us not too far. Buggered us up on a couple groups, but it is what it is. But I think we've made out all right. Fixing to wrap this up here shortly and head south.
Putting a wrap on this North Dakota trip. Hope you guys like the content. Thanks for watching. More content coming real soon. We're heading next to Kansas over Thanksgiving. Don't miss any of that action. More videos coming soon. As a matter of fact, a little taste of what Kansas will provide with the video dropping on Thursday. Thanks for watching the Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel.
So it's almost duck season. Everybody's amped up. Last year sucked, to put it mildly. But we got a new pump. We about to throw some water at them and hopefully even the score.
when the tasks were delegated, somehow or another, me and Eddie and Austin and that Suzuki with a broadcast seeder, we ended up with all the responsibility of growing duck food. Nervous as a cat going in. Eddie cut that AC wide open and let it eat. And about probably 3 or 4 weeks later, we had 10-foot stalks in there with more corn than you shake a stick at. For 3 guys, couldn't grow tomatoes prior to that. We're looking at 40 acres on the Tennessee side next year. We're getting into farming.
So after our first 2 years on the island, we had ample water, but we knew there was going to come a year where we would need some pumps in case the river didn't get up and get us the water we needed. And we tried to hedge our bets and bought a couple 2 16-inch relift pumps that were powered by tractors. Long story short, it was an epic disaster. It was one problem after another. Ended up losing a pump, tractor flipped in the water. So needless to say, water was our Achilles heel last year.
We kind of stepped our game up this year. You know, we knew we were going to need something that could put water on the island faster than we were losing it if the river ever dropped. So we got a 24-inch inlet with a 30-inch outlet, you know, pumping on the island with a 250 horse power unit. You know, other than that, the only other thing I know is I ain't allowed to touch it.
Opposite direction first, so snap in. I wasn't expecting this much out. But I mean, even that other piece, 5 foot, we wouldn't be able to get in there to turn it.
She churned some water.
Well, you know, we managed to salvage one of the relift pumps. You know, we decided to move it around to that 50-acre slough where we hunted a lot last year. And we're going to try to pump it up, kind of use it as a rest area. You know, we planted some food in there for them, some millet. We're going to use it as a rest area for now. If it gets to where we absolutely have to have somewhere to hunt, you know, we can resort back to that 50-acre slough like last year.
So one of our big undertakings this summer was we really wanted to pour a concrete slab underneath the camp. So when I sent out the text message about a big work weekend, I didn't really mention the fact that we were going to be pouring 54,000 pounds of concrete by hand, but we had the manpower showed up, and got it done.
You know, you think 80-pound bag of concrete, you know, is going to be pretty heavy, and they are, you know, but you know, you move 15, 16 pallets worth, you know, you didn't know you had it in you, but you know, they get heavy about pallet number 2.
First. 54,000 pounds, my bad.
You know, there's probably a list from here to the boat ramp long of stuff we need to do on the island, or at the camp, I should say. But, you know, I often think, you know, when our kids get grown, and you know, and hopefully they're able to come up here, I think that list will still be going.
We've got a skid steer over here now with a mulching head, big excavator that we've needed bad, but needless to say, Murray isn't allowed to even look at those pieces of equipment, let alone run them.
Murray has not yet been greenlit to operate anything other than the microwave on the island, and only under supervision is he allowed to do that.
Damn, I grabbed a drink out of there thinking it was Coke Zero. Dr. Pepper Zero Cherry. In there with that wild turkey. I've been practicing all summer.
I know. All right, tell me about the new pump.
Oh, what was the question?
That's gonna make it on there.
Oh.
All right, coming up, we're going to share an obsessed episode. This one's about Toxie. You may have seen it before. And Toxie used to be, he was like my bow hunting guy. Me and him were always bow hunting. And he'll still do that, but his obsession has turned to waterfowl. I'm telling you, nobody works harder than Toxie to get that waterfowl just right. And it's a lot of work. But you know what? It's his passion, and that's what he likes. I guarantee you, you're going to enjoy this obsessed episode with Toxie and his duck dreams.
The word obsession encompasses the mindset of everyone at Mossy Oak. We obsess over hiding from, chasing, and conserving the critters we pursue. In this episode, we dive into the heart and mind of founder Toxie Hayes as we follow him through the 2017 duck season. This is The Obsessed.
So yeah, I'm obsessed with this life outdoors that we call Mossy Oak. and I'm obsessed with all of it. I'd be obsessed to go on a rabbit hunt. I love squirrel hunting. Of course, deer, I absolutely adore. And probably is number one still, spring turkey hunting. But I have more and more and more as I get older, have become completely obsessed with ducks, managing for ducks. It takes so much more work. You have to get ready. You just can't show up. Not around here at least, and go. You have to put in so much time in the summer and even in the fall leading into it. So I've become more obsessed as a gamekeeper in my later years than I think I ever was hunting when I was younger. And again, the point of it all is to get to go hunting and get to take people hunting for me. But at the end of the day, without the critters, without taking care of the land first, without being a gamekeeper first, nothing happens.
Just gonna plant some millet here for some ducks, I reckon. We're gonna get a rain later on this afternoon, or they're calling for it. So it's gonna be about one load. We're putting 17 pounds to the acre, somewhere around in there. Man, I can't hold all that, man.
Oh, you do it. You can do it. Special delivery. You got that's a SUV, but that's a tank. Actually.
Yeah, this is gonna be, I think, the 17th year in a row. Started out with Mr. Fox. Now going through Tyson.
What a good-looking airplane.
All for the ducks. It may seem like a little crazy right now, but let me take you out there about November.
It'd be nice.
12 and 15, I want to be about 17 with you. Just a little bit more than what we usually do. People won't believe the things you do for ducks. We've drained the swamp, we've tamed the swamp, and now we've planted the swamp. It's just, it's hard to put into words what it means to just, for me, just to have them. I made such a huge transition from, just find ducks, kill ducks, get your limit. I can remember even when I was younger, walking a mile in a muddy bean field with decoys on my back just to be able to kill a couple of ducks. We loved to go, we didn't have a lot. So now that things have evolved to where we have stuff like this, and just over time, I guess we started buying a little bit of land and been able to buy some around 1990. And that's when we started in this area right here. And slowly over time, pieced together a little bit and trade some places and sell some places and add on to this. And our core property out here has gotten to be real sizable, way beyond my wildest dreams. And, but the point of it is to have that gift. It's not just, I've gotten past the hunting. Now, don't get me wrong, that's the point of all this, and I do dearly love to go, and I do dearly love to shoot ducks and hunt ducks and call ducks, and I really like taking my boys and my son-in-law and my friends and people for the company. But it's evolved to just having them. a real important question is, what does the word obsessed mean to me? Because that's a word we throw around pretty loosely for the last 20, 25 years here at Mossy Oak as a descriptor, of our life outdoors, and also as an inspiration to others. And so what I would say about the word obsessed is, be careful to get caught up on the Webster's Dictionary version, because it means something different to everybody. As we all know, words are just labels we put on stuff. And I think for us, what we mean by that is something you love so much that is a huge part of your life. And in fact, it's part of what makes you get the most out of your life. And you know, we're just obsessed with hunting. We're obsessed with the whole experience outdoors and getting, you know, we only have so many moments in life, and getting as many moments as we can outdoors. And you know, amongst nature and the trees and the plants and the bushes and the critters and the friends and the people we love. That's what we talk about when we say obsessed. And being obsessed means that we're lucky enough to get to spend that life outdoors. I'm Toxie Hayes, and I am obsessed.
All right, coming up, we got a really, really cool hunt with one of our own, Dustin Shed Whitaker. You may have seen him before. Hey, sorry about that Ohio State, Michigan thing, Shed. He's an Ohio State boy. Hey, I hope you're over it by now. Y'all check this out. Giant deer up in Ohio, Shed Whitaker.
Southwest wind, and it's cold. It's supposed to snow all afternoon, so kind of see what stirs, but then I get them on their feet a little bit. First afternoon we're up in Ohio. As you can see, it dropped about 10 degrees and it's snowing. We've already seen a couple of deer on the way in, but this is probably the first snow of the year up here. See what happens, but it's cold. That was gonna happen. We've been sitting here about probably 2 hours on this buck. It's a nice 8-point. He's got a doe in this little thicket right here. My fear was that another buck would come along and push him off, and that's what happened. Little buck right there come up, got him out of their bed. Down over the hill they went. There's a lot of a lot of activity. It's gonna be good. Just a matter of time. We're kind of in a spot on the very top of a ridge. These deer, it's kind of a funnel, and they're just pouring through here. We've probably seen 25 deer already this morning. Just haven't seen the right buck yet. The rut's going on. Probably seen 20 does, a couple little bucks. Just nothing big enough yet, but they are on their feet this morning, that's for sure. Something right here. Nice deer. I hear something. Something's in that thicket. I can hear it grunting. There he is. Yep. We're gonna shoot him if he comes over here. There he comes.
Right. Go down. Man, I smoked him. He just ran right over the bank. He's done. Good job, man. Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah.
He had definitely gotten stiff. Whew. This is the second year in a row I've hunted this farm up in Ohio, and you talk about deer activity and movement, just back and forth. It's the week before Thanksgiving, and these deer are just, every one of them's got a doe. As soon as they get rid of that one, they go on to the next one. And I mean, just love it. There's nothing better than hunting deer right down the road from where I grew up and shooting good ones.
At the core of all of us, there is a code, a roadmap that determines who we are. Our code is written in early morning sunrises and the anticipation of opening day. Our code is written by the moments that we experience with those we love the most. It's written by the feeling of our dirt in our hands. At Mossy Oak, our code is burned into every cell of our body. It's in our DNA.
I'm 15 feet up off the ground. I got my bow in my hand. I'm not making a sound. I'm just waiting patiently.
All right, so here we are in Illinois. Let's see. Let's get things right, started off right. November 17th. 549, 60-degree weather, 10-mile-an-hour south wind, which is not there. We're in Illinois here on Jeff's farm. We got about 3 days here. We're gonna try to bow hunt a little bit. Hopefully, still got our bow tags, muzzleloader tag. It starts Friday, so we got 2 days to bow hunt and then 3 days to muzzleloader hunt. Hopefully, in that time, we'll be able to get us a big buck on the ground. That's kind of the plan. It rained some, not sure how much. Got everything good and wet, I can tell you that. But hey, it wouldn't be Illinois if it wasn't this year. And look, every time we come over here, we had this good rain. Make it nice, get up on top, up that muddy hill, which remarkably hadn't been that bad at all this year. So, okay, take what we get. It'll be out of the west at 7. But right now it's out of the southeast. And it's gonna swap all the way over.
At 7?
Yeah.
That's a tough time for a wind switch. I don't know if they'll be back there, but you gotta think they would.
You got that one on that hill, that's a lot of shooting around that thing. It's a nice little hill to get started in the morning.
All right, here it is, the last morning in Illinois. Our third day of the gun season, and it has been slow and been tough, man. You hate to always hear the people talk about how tough and slow and all, but I mean, it's been not only a tough archery season over here for us, just bad timing with the weather is all it was. The rut was good, deer was moving. That's not the time that we were here. Kind of about like this gun season, you know, the first day, man, it would look like it was gonna be good, but then the moon being bright and full, I knew it was gonna put a damper on things, but not knowing this, it was gonna be this much of a damper. We've had some shooters, we've seen some, they've been out of range or whatever. It's just been situations you can't avoid, really. Seen a lot of deer, mostly does and young bucks, but a lot of deer. The big boys just hadn't moved very much at all. warm this morning. It rained again last night, so it's just kind of been one of them years where it's been tough on deer movement for us. Just the timing and places we were at certain times. But hey, we still got a whole day here. A third of the hunt's still here, so we're good. Hopefully, we're in a good spot right here. Deer bed mostly to the east. They'll come back through here, go through this biologic winter buck sugar beets, and just go down in bed. So we're just hoping we'll catch one going to bed. Most of it's been early movement, so it gets a little tough now, but maybe we'll catch one. Maybe we'll catch one on his feet yet. Toes that have walked up here, I thought he was following us. Here, it's right here. Where? Hang on. Which way is he gonna go? He's gonna die right here. No.
Nice job. Oh man, you made it hard on us there at the end.
Finally. Well, we had to make a decision where to go. And that's the deer that we had earlier this week. Actually, it's both. I'm trying to remember because we've hunted so much, but we had him another day in bow season. He come up through here chasing some does around up on the scent. Was down in that bottom. And actually, I thought I'd done let him get away this morning because he walked 100 yards up through here, turned real quick, tucked right in the woods. I told Kyle I hope he'll come out by that oak tree because there's a trail we noticed the other day. He came out. It's raining. It's raining again. But anyway, so we watched him come out, and I was like, he wasn't in the woods. I told Kyle, golly, I done messed up. But what happened, he came out right here, come feeding right through here, and we was trying to get on the same page because our gun and our tripod kept hitting each other, trying to go out the same window. But anyway, it was about a 30-yard shot right here, which I'm thankful he come back out because I thought he was gone. But anyway, so we shot him. CVA, his muzzler kicked. It kicked him so hard, he went down and ran over there, and he fell, hopefully on that jet field. I hope he didn't go down in that bottom because that's a big old ditch. And as soon as I kill him, look, it is pouring down rain. I don't mean sprinkling. So it's the same deer we think that we passed last year
the last afternoon, same day last year, last afternoon, we passed him his little 8-pointer like this. He blew. He's a big old nice deer now, so nice buck.
Give me some.
Yeah.
Where we gonna go?
All right, let's go get him. Always the time you look forward to after you shoot a deer. Gotta go put your hands on him. See what he looks like. There we go, right there. Right last place we seen him.
Nice work.
He didn't run 50 yards. I'm thankful he did not go down into that ditch. Oh yeah. What we thought he was. Come on, baby. Come on. Ooh, come on. Yes, sir.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Big old boy. We'll take good pictures too. What he is.
Look how massive he is at his base.
I know it, man. Look at that. Still warm. Poor guy. Hey, it was either me or somebody else. Yeah, so this deer right here, our first encounter with him was archery season just a few days ago. And he came out with some does, and we recognized him as the deer from last year that we caught a decoy buck. And we watched him rubbing some trees and kind of staying in tight with that doe, and he came back across and run back in here, so we knew this is kind of his core area. Him and then a couple other bucks that we'd been seeing. We had about 3 of them that was on the list here, hit list here, that we was going to harvest, and he was one of them. And so it'd been real slow the last few days. Moon been full. Man, the deer didn't move good except maybe that first hour, and then that last little bit of light you might catch one, but other than that it was been slow. You see some does and stuff move midday, but the bucks, they were kind of pretty much being nocturnal. And so it rained some last night and it was cloudy, so what we were hoping and what we talked about this morning before we went hunting was that with it being cloudy and overcast and stuff like that, we felt like it may just keep these deer up on their feet just a little longer this morning, and that's exactly what happened. I think had it not rained and all, probably they would have bedded back down real quick. So long story short, you know, we're in there this morning. Had a bunch of does come through, and this buck come right where about 7 or 8 does had came from the far end of the field where the winter bulb sugar beets when all were planted, and he came up through there, actually walked right through a gap we call Super Saddle where we'd been bow hunting. Anyway, he walked through there and he came up, followed him all the way up to the hill. Actually went in the woods, and we thought we'd let him get away. Made a scrape, went in the woods, and then luckily he poked back out about 50 yards and he started walking, looked like he's gonna come right up under the stand. So basically what we did, we just kind of dancing around a little bit inside there trying to figure out how to kill him through the same window, and we got it all squared away in time and it worked out good. He didn't run very far. Luckily he made a good shot on him, and he ran right over here, didn't go too far, fell over here dead. Shot him right in the dangum heart, looks like, lungs. But anyway, he only run 70 yards probably, piled up right here. We thought we saw him fall, but actually couldn't see him from the stand because he fell in this little bit of a hole. He's a dandy buck. Nice buck to take. Happy to get him. He's probably shoot 20 inches wide, what we believe to be 5, and just what these deer up here for in Pike County. Some of them, you know, bigger, some of them smaller. So he got a couple of points off his bases actually, a couple of little points.
Tim Wells coming up next. You know, something about, people don't know about Tim Wells, is he does all this filming, all this shooting, and he does his own editing. He does all that by himself. This guy is a workaholic, but more than that, he is, they don't call him the slot master for nothing. Just watch how he shoots his bow. He's the best ever, instinctive, 3 fingers under. You can't stress that enough. That's the talent that God gave you. Now, he worked and worked and worked at it, but golly, this is cool stuff. Tim Wells.
Well, this is where we start. Central Illinois, Fulton County. I was born and raised in Fulton County, some of the best whitetail hunting in the world. You can see where the creeks snake their way through the hardwood timber, and over the decades have carved out a beautiful place for whitetails to live. This broken country is full of giants. I shouldn't say full of giants, but there is the occasional giant that will come your way. And if you're lucky, once in a while you'll get one to come to the rattle. Maybe you'll get lucky and catch one when he slips up following a doe, or when he's hungry in late season, he'll come to the food. You just never know. I kind of like it that way. Leave it to chance. Coming through that pinch point, or moseying in behind a doe, you get lucky. And this is what happened when I finally got lucky with Sidekick. Look at that buck, boys. That's what we're after. Big Louie. Go on down here. He's running up by the highway, so I'm gonna let him run down this gravel road and he'll hop the fence somewhere. He's right by the highway, so we'll just keep following him. I like chasing big deer. It's not that it's an ego thing. It's just fun to hunt a big mature one. It's a different game altogether when you hunt a big buck, and they're a little harder to kill. But that's what we're after today. Big buck, so let's get him.
Well, we've already had 2 big bucks come through, but it's been about an hour and now it's dead, nothing. But the timber is beautiful and it's high pressure, so they should be active because it was windy all day yesterday and the deer should still be moving, but we haven't had anything come through. You never know. It may be 30 minutes before you see a deer coming, but he'll come right in and nail you on a dime. He will know within a 20-yard circle where you were, and he may have came from a half mile away. He'll walk in, stop, and start looking around for you, so. Very rarely do I see a deer run to the rattle horns in the Midwest. Now in Texas, they'll run you over, knock you out of your seat, so. All right, I'm gonna put these horns down and get ready. Like he's coming towards us. I better get ready for the shot.
I can see him, and he is big. He's moving cautiously and analyzing the scents of the forest. I noticed he hobbles slightly. He's either been shot or perhaps gored by another buck. He was nearly in range when I suddenly noticed just who he was. An old friend. Two years before, my son Clint had gave him the pass. Then he was 3.5 years of age. With 2 inside kickers, Clint named him Sidekick. He was beautiful even then, but he would vanish for 2 years, then reappear, only to become the king of his domain. He's got a sway back, long nose, and round belly. He is mature. If he comes my way, today, things will be different. It's early October and I have fooled him. He is 60 yards out in a steady rain. Close, but yet not close enough. I owe him that much. Just 10 more yards and I'll take the shot. I thought he might come my way. But, as it usually goes, he never did. It's now 1 month later, and he is trying my patience. Once again within range, but too far for the shot. He had came to the rattle, but now he is retreating back to his haunt. And he turns at 50 yards and begins to move away. Desperate to fool him, I use my grunt call. Still, he continues to move off, so I challenge him with a snort wheeze. Now Sidekick stops and considers his options. He now walks stiff-legged. And clears his nostrils in hopes of sending his potential opponent. He's circling to get my wind. I am ready. Now at full draw, he has seen me. There's brush between me and his vitals, and I hold motionless, awaiting his mistake. One step further, he has made it.
He's over. No, keep it on him. He's on the ridge. woods. Big Louie come strolling into the rattle. Wow. He bugged out at the last minute, and I snort wheezed to him. He changed his mind and came back. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. That was fantastic. Slocked him, boys. I slocked him. I shot a big one today. I got the big boy of the woods. Wow. Man, I tell you what, when I finally came to full draw, that was one of them moments where I said to myself, don't miss this shot, because this one is going to be the one you got to hit. When Big Louie come walking in there, I was like, man, I hope I can keep it together. Well, I did. I turned 55 this year, and I think I just shot a 185. Fantastic, man. That's fantastic. Standing right here when I shot him. There's my moondog. You can see it right there. Follow me, Steve. Here's where he last stood. Right here. So, come on. He's right down there. Oh, wow. What a thrill. Now, it's on this exact same bridge that I stood here 2 years ago. This exact same spot. And I looked down in the creek, and there was my son's big buck laying in the water. Pretty neat. Let's go look at this buck.
I'd be lying if I said that I never feel remorse when I fool my old friends. Even so, there is great joy knowing that he has lived to be old. And his death came quickly. I'm sure he has spread his genetics, and I will see more in the future that look like Sidekick.
Fantastic. Doesn't get any better. He got hit right in the old honey hole. Double lunged him. Big body. He's a beautiful 5-year-old. Man. It just don't get any better. Chocolate horns. Lots of points. Ooh, looky there. Split ear, he's been fighting. Wow.
There he is.
Good job, buddy.
Genesis 27:3. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison. This was Isaac talking to his son Esau. Before Isaac was about to pass, he wanted to share his blessing with Esau over a meal of venison. Even as far back as the times of the Bible, venison has been important to the human race. So now, join me and my blue-collar team as we chase giant whitetails across the Midwest. Our goal is to make you a better hunter. I'm Ben Rising, and this is Whitetail Edge.
Amazing green.
Yeah, baby.
I'm about to go lay my hands on probably the biggest buck I've ever shot.
I just smoked the sheriff.
Yep, he's going down, sis.
Beautiful buck. I couldn't be more happy to take him back home to Indiana.
There he is.
Oh my gosh. I just smoked a giant on a Black Widow mock scrape, baby. Yes.
Welcome to Whitetail Edge. This week, we're following team member Tori Miller as he's after a big deer in Ohio. Well, Tori's been hunting with me a long time. He's kind of a friend, I guess you'd say that by now. No, Tori's one of my best friends, and he's a good deer hunter. He's killed a lot of good deer over here with me. Me and Tori hunt this one farm together quite regularly, and Tori's up to bat. We got a lot of bucks on this farm this year. We got one really big 9-point deer. Got a really super nice 10-point that we've decided to pass. We're gonna let him live. A lot of good deer. Haven't had a lot of good deer on this farm in some years. You know, we get a lot of neighbor pressure. Some of these guys literally hunt the fence, dump corn piles within 20 feet of my fence, and try everything they can to suck the deer out of the bedding area to their spots, and it works. I mean, they kill some of my deer. Or, you know, they're not my deer, they're God's deer, but they kill some of the deer that we try to keep alive till next year. There's nothing I can do about it. Did catch some of them trespassing this year, which really sucks, that you can't trust your neighbors no matter how nice you are to them. But that's just part of what you deal with when you're a deer hunter, or if you're a land manager, or if you lease some land or have some private land that you work really hard to have access to.
Okay, so I'm on a new property I've got this year. I actually bought this property, and I had to come in here this spring and open it all up. It was just woolly, thick, just overgrown stuff. Deer wasn't using anything here because there was no food for them until very late winter. So I opened it all up. I've been working this ground for a long time. It is now late August, and the forecast doesn't look very good for getting the plots in for it to dry out anymore. So finally today I just decided that today's the day. We're going to do it. We're going to be done. I've got my UTV here. I'm going to throw some lime down, throw some fertilizer down, and then I've got a tractor and a disc. I'm going to work it again and then roll it, and then we'll be planting some big time food plot in here. Foundation clover, clover select, and lockdown. We're going to put some lockdown and some strips. And the rest of it's going to be foundation clover and clover select. So stay tuned.
Getting back to this hunt with Tori, you know, we're trying to combat the neighbors. We're trying to keep our farm low pressure, keep the deer in the center as much as we can. We've got these deer coming to a bean field. Tori's jumping into redneck blind and seeing if he can't get on one of these big old deer.
Well, we are loaded up and just pulling out the drive, heading to Ohio. So, wish us luck. The last week to 10 days, the weather's been kind of warm, not been very good hunting wise, but gotten a lot of farming and stuff like that done. Now there's a cold front move through late last night. This morning's real cold. There's frost. This morning would have been a good morning, but I took the kids to school this morning and dropped them off and loaded up all the hunting gear and camera gear, and we're rolling to Ohio. So come along, we'll see what happens.
It's mid-October. You know, Tori's going into the redneck blind, sitting on some standing beans. We've got Spartan trail camera pictures of these bucks all in this area. One thing to keep in mind throughout all of these encounters that Tori has is the moon guide. All these encounters with these big deer are either on or the day before or the day after the red moon.
Here we are, our first evening sit in Ohio. And I believe this is my best chance. Always your first sit's one of your better chances. So it is October 15th, 16th. And we just had a major cold front roll through yesterday. And this is the high pressure after. And we've got a northwest wind, which is blowing right in our face here in this blind and blowing out behind us. And there's standing beans out in front of us, and there's standing beans behind us, and just bedding on both sides of us. It's a fabulous little farm. I've hunted this farm for a lot of years. Just a wonderful little farm. But we've got a really big 9, just a monster 9-point. The Spartan's been telling us he's been showing up a little earlier each day. And last night I think he was here about 6:30, which is shooting light. So if he'll walk just a little bit earlier today, we'll probably see him. And there's a big 9, and there's a couple other shooters on this farm that I don't know. I'd really like the big 9, but I'm not picky. So we snuck in here. It's about 3:30. We're just getting everything set up, and sit here and wait for the 9. So we'll see.
So Tori is in the blind, and the big 9 steps out, and I mean, he's a big deer. As you can see, this is a real specimen of a whitetail. He's not a super high scoring deer, but what a giant buck. Things just don't work out. Tori doesn't get a shot, but he's not going to give up.
Well, it is round 2, day 2 here in Ohio. It's my second weekend over here. I was here last weekend, had a really nice encounter with the big 9, but the wind was wrong for
rest of the weekend last weekend, so I just went back home. Came back this weekend. Did not see him last night, but hoping that he shows up tonight. So had a really nice 10-point last night that was out here in front of us for a long time with a whole bunch of does, and I just really need that 9 to do what he did, and we should be in good shape. So it's kind of windy. It's a little bit cooler than I expected. I wish I had some more clothes, but we're sitting in a redneck ghillie blind, and that really helps block the wind somewhat. So all we gotta do is sit here and wait for the big 9. Hopefully he shows up today.
So as you can tell, Tori's got his heart set on this big 9-pointer. He's grinding, coming back and forth from Indiana to Ohio. He's watching his moon guide, trying to decide when to hunt. He's coming, in and around the red moon all the time to hunt here. He's having encounters, but he's got his heart set on that buck. He's passed some great deer. That 10-pointer is going to be a really nice deer.
So we are on the way to Ohio again. It's my 3rd trip to Ohio in 3 weeks. Getting kind of tired of making the trip, so hopefully this is the last one. Last night was Halloween. I stuck around and did the trick-or-treat thing with the family, and this morning, November 1st, we are loaded up and rolling to Ohio. So we'll see if we can't get on the track of the big 9 that we've been hunting for a couple weeks. So Spartan cams say that he's still showing up. Not quite as habitual as he was, because it's that time of the year where they start chasing does, they start stretching their legs, they start moving around. It's a little more difficult to get on. So we'll see. We'll go out here, we'll get set up, we'll see what happens. Stay tuned.
It's supposed to be low 60s today. I'm afraid that might start getting too warm in the middle of the day, but it's the first southwest wind after 2 or 3 norths, so hopefully movement will be good today. At the very least, all the way at the end of the day in the evening, hopefully the deer will move really well right before dark, so all we need is one shooter to walk in front of us. Like this, you don't see 20 turkeys together. You certainly don't see strutters in the fall. This is incredible. The boys over at Spur Brand will be ate up with this right now. I mean, this is amazing to me. What a beautiful morning. The sun's just coming up. There's strutters out in the food plot. I just need a big deer to show up. It's November 3rd, I think it is, Election Day. I don't know, I voted early before I came to Ohio. Man, this is a great way to start the day. So, we're back in Ohio. Sunday afternoon, I just drove over this morning and unpacked, got my shower, and ran right out here. There was a fair number of does, small bucks feeding in fields. By the time I got here, it's still pretty early, like, I don't know, 2 o'clock. Still on that big 9 from October. He disappeared all of November, basically all of November. And in the beginning of December, we got a picture. Mac told us that he was still alive. And then the spurts just started popping with more pictures and more pictures. And he's actually getting pretty, fairly predictable. As predictable as mature deer get. So, he's always coming in this corner. So, it's good. It was not good yesterday, but today, tomorrow, Tuesday, it's good. For this redneck blind, so we slept in here real quiet, and got all set up for my first afternoon sitting here in December. So hopefully he'll show up.
Now we're getting into the late season. And, you know, it's time to start relying on the big tine again and just getting into that deer's gut. Because, like I said, all the neighbors are feeding around us. We've lost some deer that we've been holding all year. Some of the deer got killed. And that just happens every year. It's just part of hunting. It sucks, but it's part of what goes on when you're a deer manager. You know, Tori's options are getting limited. You know, trying to hunt this older deer now. I think the big 9 actually shed his antlers, and because we haven't seen him for a long time, and we're thinking he shed out or he got harvested by a neighbor. We don't know for sure. So he's got this other big old bruiser that we're trying to kill. There's a couple other 10s left there, and basically it's just, you know, Tori's going to shoot a buck to fill his tag and get some footage for Whitetail Edge.
I'm sitting here at the back of my truck, waiting. I was going to slip in about half an hour ago and hopefully be sitting in the blind when shooting light started and catch him about half an hour after that. But as I was getting dressed, the Spartan sends me a picture that he's there right now. So as much as I would love to run in there, I just need to be patient. I need to let him move off so he's not right there. Otherwise I'm going to be right on top of him and bump him off possibly for the day, for the rest of the hunt. Who knows? So just sitting here watching the snowfall. It's beautiful.
This is the evening of the 31st. He's going in, and he's got to make it happen because our season is closing fast. Deer dropping their antlers, and he's got to make something happen here in the Redneck Blind.
You're on day 5 of a 4-day hunting trip. I'm still chasing that big 9. And I came here, I was going to try to get here early in the morning and get in here before the 9 comes through. He's been coming through right at about shooting light or about sunrise for the past 4 mornings. So I was at the back of the truck getting dressed, and the Spartan cameras showed that he was down there next to the blind right at the time I was wanting to come in. So then there were a bunch of does and everything around, so I ended up just sitting at the truck for about 2 hours, letting all the deer filter off. But now we're in here, now we're set up. It's very cold today. We had probably 3 or 4 inches of snow yesterday. So I don't think the deer moved really well yesterday, but I believe they should be up and feeding today. And that's what our hope is to catch that big 9 moving. So should be a good day. I'm going to sit all day. I packed a lunch. I'm going to sit all day. It'll be cold, but if he shows up and I can run a Black Eagle through him, it'll be worth it. hear anything. But we'll pack up and get out of here. We'll probably get him overnight. He was quartering away real hard, but I didn't get as far forward as I wanted to. Hopefully that mega meat gets up in there and does its job.
I'm sitting in the truck again, waiting on Kyle to get here. He's going to help me look for that deer and drag it out. I shot a nice 10 last night, just a little bit before dark. The 9 came in and he turned around and walked out the other way, so I'm pretty sure it was done for him. And today was my last day here, so I'm heading back home to Indiana. So there was a couple other deer on this farm. There's a nice 10. And hopefully he's laying dead down in the bottom down there someplace. Kyle and I were going to go look for him and see what we can find. The hit was a little bit farther back than I'd like. That happens. It wasn't a hit that I'm proud of, but that happens. I've got a good setup with the Black Eagle arrows and the G5 Mega Meat, so if it got enough penetration, he'll be dead. It's just not the way you envisioned it when you shoot. But Cal should be here any minute, so hopefully we'll go find him.
There he is.
Good job, buddy. Nice. Nice. Piled up right on the logs.
Right on the bank.
Oh. Stiff on a board.
Oh, yeah, he's stiff. Broke it off.
Look at that. Black Eagle shoved right up in him.
In there deep. Beautiful. Oh, beautiful buck. Beautiful buck. Now you want to get him out?
That's what I was looking at. If that's a field right there, that's the easiest way.
It's actually not too bad right there. Here he is, the 10-pointer. Stuck him last night, and pretty sure we would find him, but Kyle came out to help, and we had to go down in the bottom. Found him good and got him out real good. So thanks, Kyle, for the help. But just a beautiful Ohio deer. Couldn't be more happy. He's got a broken tine right there. And he's missing an eye, so I think he's been doing some fighting, but just a beautiful buck. I couldn't be more happy to take him back home to Indiana with me.
Well, congrats, Tori. It was a great deer. You stayed with it. You hunted hard. And, you know, that's something that we can all learn, you know, from this hunt is, you know, but I think a major factor was the moon guide. All of Tori's encounters were in and around that red moon phase that the moon guide talks about. So download that app if you don't have it, because I truly think it'll change the way you hunt. Using the Spartan cameras, getting those pictures, knowing what deer are around, hunting the food sources, deciding, you know, when it's time to take advantage of a deer's gut, when it's rut time, you're hunting the doe bedding areas, back and forth, travel routes. You know, Tori was moving all around, hanging stands, trying to get on these deer, and he finally made it happen here towards the end of the season. So hey, thanks for watching the show. Like I always say, without you, the fans, we are nothing. We thank our sponsors again. Without our sponsors, you know, we can't put the show on. So we try not to sound like a commercial with our products, but here at Whitetail Edge, we do only use what we feel will truly help you out there to be a better deer hunter.
What matters to you right now? If this past year has taught us anything at all, it's that we need to redefine what matters to us. What matters to us is spending time with our people
God, we thank you for this food.
and giving thanks for all that we've been given. At Mossy Oak, what matters to us is helping you get closer to nature. What matters to us is in our DNA.
All right, coming up. Like I always say, this is like when I was in school, it was recess. On this deal, it's ingredient wild. Back with the barbecue ninja. Beer, braised rabbit, and garlic. I ain't never had it like that, but I can tell you, I'd probably eat it. Let's go check this out.
Hey, Craig Verhagen, the Barbecue Ninja. Coming at you from the hunting camp at Mossy Oak. And what I have here in front of me is my next dish, and this is gonna be a braised rabbit with garlic. Rabbit takes me back to my childhood because that's really the first thing I ever hunted was rabbit. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get a little rub on here. Once we get this rub on here, we're gonna go over to the grill. We're gonna put an awesome sear on the outside of these things. And what that sear is gonna do is it's gonna seal in all the juices. And this rabbit is just really, really clean, white meat. It's gonna take on all these flavors very well. All right, let's hit the grill. We'll get a good sear on each side of this. The sugars in this dry rub is gonna work real well with getting that crust on the outside of this and sealing in these flavors. We just wanna hit it hot and fast and then go to the braising pot and finish it off there. We just got done with the sear on this rabbit. It's time to put everybody in the pool. So this is where we're going with this. Get the back hinds in the bottom there, the thickest part of the rabbit. And then we go with the fronts, and then we got the saddles we'll go in with. A little beer here. Nice. Then we got a quartered up onion, and we got whole garlic cloves, probably about 2 garlic pods worth. Right, it's smelling great. In the liquid here, we've got vegetable broth, and we also have white wine vinegar. And the white wine vinegar, what it does is it just gives that acid in there that's really gonna help break down the meat, but it's also gonna give it that little bit of pop with the acid. Then we're gonna finish over here with a little bit of parsley over the top. And it's time to go to the smoker. All right, we're going on the short rib drum smoker. When the rabbit is fork tender, that's when you know it's done. That could go an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. We're gonna run this thing up to about 350, 400 in that range, go hot. And then when it's fork tender, it's done. Then we're gonna serve it and enjoy. Coming to the end here, and I tell you, we got the braised rabbit. It's fork tender. We actually have the saddle of the rabbit in here. And thing is, I mean, this meat is just pure, clean, good, white meat. It looks absolutely fabulous. It looks better than a pork loin. Tastes better than a pork loin too.
Another cup, another tank of gas. One more road sign I just passed. It looks like I'll be just in time to see that sunrise in the blind.
How do you fall in love with a giant whitetail? You accidentally bump into him at daybreak while you're glassing for a big muley. This deer had huge split brows like I'd never seen. I wanted desperately to fall in love with him, but in that moment in time, I couldn't. That year I was already focused on another big deer, and I'm a one buck kind of guy. I spent the month of November alone that fall in whitetail country, and I got that buck. A beautiful 6x6 I'd been hoping to cross paths with for 3 years. We never saw the brow-tine buck again that fall, but we knew we made it because in the spring, my dear friend Bentley Coben sent us a photo of one of his guided shed hunters with the match set from the brow-tine buck. Mr. Toby Montgomery was the lucky guy. 2 weeks later, I was lucky enough to find a shed of my own off this old boy from the year before, getting me even more fired up to focus on them in the coming fall. Remember, I'm a $1 kind of guy.
How old's that dude?
Look at that.
How old is he there?
Well, just by his body, I'd say he's 5 or 6. What do you think, Pat?
And that's a stud.
Whitetail season starts in Saskatchewan tomorrow morning. I've been all fall trying to locate a buck that I want to go after. And yesterday, November 13th, I went and checked a stealth cam, and I finally got a picture of this buck. A really big, massive brows like fence posts and stickers and junk. So now we're taking a muddy in, we're getting it set up, and making the plan to focus on this deer. It's beautiful country. It's a place where I grew up hunting when I was a kid. And it brings back a lot of memories and brings me a lot of anticipation. I'm really excited about it. The sun just came out, and the snow is melting off the trees like crazy.
In a way, I had created a bit of a streak for myself. At the time, I had 6 public land bucks in a row, all over 160. I'm in no way trying to brag, but more so trying to point out how fortunate I've been. The thought of making this streak 7 was tantalizing. Every November for years now, I've spent alone with nobody to keep me warm but my heater bodysuit while I sit and contemplate how long this streak could possibly last. While I reminisced with myself of all the good luck I'd had, it kept leading me towards the fact that someday soon my streak would end. And one of the inevitable facts that comes with hunting, your luck will always shift. It never stays the same. Completely accepting that this could very well be the year to fail, deep down I was hoping it wouldn't. I loved the brow tine buck.
Beautiful buck. Only a 3-year-old. It's a good feeling to have something like that happen, to reassure you what you're doing could work, and it will work. It just takes time.
On the second morning of whitetail season, I had bad wind to sit in the muddy, so I was trapped on the outside.
He's trying to close a gate on a patch of ice. Hey, Richie, just go ahead and close it. We gotta get back for breakfast. Hey, Rich?
Thanks for your help, Cody.
Rich?
Yeah.
Just go ahead and close it. Yeah, we gotta get going. Go ahead.
No problem, just give me another minute or two here.
Kelsey was here. Kelsey and Brick were here. They'd have it. Did you get it? Richie, you made us 3 minutes late.
Well, I probably could have used a little hand there, but I know you had to sit here and take videos. I'm the big buck killer. You're just the cameraman nowadays anyways.
Oh, cut. Plays a dirty card right in the middle of a fun game of cards. Just like, hey, just call me Davey. Davey or Daniel, that's the only thing I answer to. And I'm like, Rich. He doesn't even turn his head. He's trying to close that gate for 8 minutes. I'm like, Richie, Rich. Nothing. I'm like, Dave? He looks. Shoot one Boone and Crockett and it goes straight to the top of your bald spot on your head.
On the way back for breakfast, we bumped into a regular at our stealth cam. We were miles from the muddy, but the rut brings them out.
That everything is perfect. And he's one of the 3 big bucks on our stealth cam. It's a perfect situation. The wind's not right, that's why I'm out here. But I really want to shoot the ancient old brow tine buck that we have history with. But he's beautiful. I'm so torn right now. I don't know what to do. We're gonna sneak in close, maybe get a shot. He is beautiful. That sun is so pretty. I'm not gonna shoot him. He is so young and so beautiful. And he's one of those deer you'd walk up to and be like, oh, could you imagine what he could be someday? Better video him run away. Cold morning to have your hands out. But I feel like there's something out there that could warm them up really fast.
I was running on day 5 or day 6 in the blind, sitting from dark till dark, alone, with my Cooper rifle, and I still hadn't seen a mature buck in my hideout, not until now.
He's beautiful. He's absolutely gorgeous. The same deer that I passed up the other day, out with a doe out in the wide open country when the wind was wrong. He's just not the buck I'm here for. He might even be bigger than the buck I'm here for. I don't know. I had my crosshairs right on him again, and I had my vortex on 15 power, and I was like looking at the bumps on his beams. Just gotta stick to my gut. I should grow a beard and be like Kenny Rogers, gambler. It's a brown tide buck. Holy cow. Holy. My hands are so cold. It's the last 10 minutes of daylight. And the brow tine buck just came out of the willows and stood there, and I let him stand there for like 30 seconds. Absolutely outrageous. He's massive. That buck is what you wait the month of November for the entire year. He's exactly what makes you fall in love with giant whitetails. Holy crap. I'm shaking. I am shaking so bad. That was so exciting. Oh, I gotta go find him. I'm sure I made a perfect shot, but I didn't see him go down. Brow tine buck. Look at that. He's beautiful. He is magnificently awesome. 2 huge brows. tree browse on the other side. What a beauty. An ancient old buck. He is wicked. His brows give him so much character. He's outrageous. I just can't believe this just happened. So thankful. What a night. What a beautiful buck. Wow. He is so cool.
All right, we're going to talk about mature bucks, big bucks. And I'm going to just tell you right now, I've been around some of the best big buck hunters there are, filmed them, been doing it for 25 years. It's a different game up in Iowa and Ohio and Illinois than it is down here in Mississippi. It's way tough, mainly because the rut in the Midwest is kind of compact and it's really ventful. It's like 7 days or 10 days. Down here, it can wind on and on. But with that said, there's things you got to do. I don't care where you are. Big deer, once they get mature, it's like there's some things they won't tolerate. I got pictures of great deer on my farm when they're like 3 years old and then they just disappear. They don't take a lot of what I call just encroachment. You know, you go into an area, you got the wind in your face, you're doing all that stuff right. But it's like if they catch a little bit of that wind or you go over there to check that camera and you leave sand or whatever it is, they'll avoid that area. They're just crazy smart when they get that big. The biggest thing about hunting a big deer is patience. You got to make that approach just right. Again, Barry Winslow said one of the best things that just helped me over the years. He said when he's approaching his stand and that one day he got everything just right, he said, I imagine I'm covered in orange paint and I don't want to leave any paint on anything. And he said, I slowly picked my way through the woods. And you got to imagine a deer, as well as they can hear and see, they're probably not too far from where you're hunting if you're thinking they'll be there through daylight unless they're chasing or something. That approach is everything. And I mean silently, picking your way through there, getting in, getting quiet. Go in early if you have to. But big bucks, big mature bucks, I don't care if you're in Mississippi or Michigan, they don't take a lot of encroachment or interference. You got to be real careful. Patience, patience, patience. Pick those days, get the wind right, pick your way in, and be quiet.
At the core of all of us, there is a code, a roadmap that determines who we are. Our code is written in early morning sunrises and the anticipation of opening day. Our code is written by the moments that we experience with those we love the most. It's written by the feeling of our dirt in our hands. At Mossy Oak, our code is burned into every cell of our body. It's in our DNA.
I'm but a boy, though I own a heart as old as coal. Searching for something in the forest where I stroll. I'm out here 'cause I got nowhere to go. The open air and the trees known to soothe the poorest soul.
On this episode of Dead End Game Calls TV, we're headed with road crew member Jeremy Pritchard down to Missouri for an Outdoor Dream Foundation hunt where he's going to take a young lady by the name of Ashley to see if they can get it done on an awesome Missouri whitetail. It's a hunt that's going to happen fast.
October 31st, actually it's Halloween morning here at the Outdoor Dream Foundation hunt. We have a new spot this morning that we're at. They had Jake had some does being chased yesterday evening here. We had a decoy set early, but the wind's blowing pretty tough, so kept blowing the decoy over, so we pulled it. We're hoping to watch this edge of this cut and bean field. Oh, buck. And we've got a big buck right now.
I hate it so much. I couldn't put it on.
I hope I've got the footage of that. Oh my gosh, that was He was about to leave too. And I just pulled that decoy out of the field. Oh man.
We're about to go try and find my buck that I just shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we haven't found blood, but we're gonna go look for that white belly hammer. Dead hard trail, back by the property line. There's a cattle fence on the property line, so we don't think he's gonna jump that. So there's a road right before the fence that the deer have just made like a cattle trail. So we're gonna go look on that road, ain't we? Might be a dead end road, mightn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man. What do you think? He's huge. What do you think? We knew he was down with it, didn't you? That's awesome. How many points?
8.
That's your biggest one yet, right?
Get in there on him.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow, that's good. Look at that.
What do you think about that? Well, I can tell she's happy with it. Look at that smile. My goodness.
This is her first buck that wasn't velvet.
How about that? You happy with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. How long is it going to take you to quit smiling?
We're going to roll back up the road to North Carolina, where Jeremy, myself, and Luke Wiles had planted Advanced Wildlife Solutions food plot back in August. Well, the food plot planning and preparation definitely took longer than the hunt that you're about to see.
Tomorrow morning's opening day of rifle season. We're hunting over our Advanced Wildlife Solutions food plot behind me. Me, Mitchell, and Luke had a chance to plant it during the summer. We got a north wind coming in tomorrow, cold front, should be a good frost. I've checked my Browning trail cameras. I've got across the ridge, I have some 4S draw and some corn spike. Mostly nighttime action over there. I had a buck daylighting up here in the corner yesterday morning. So we're gonna sit in this blind in the morning, north wind, perfect for this spot. and hopefully he'll daylight again in the morning.
Just had a buck come into this Advanced Wildlife Solutions food plot. I think I had him on camera day before yesterday. He was by himself. Didn't have his head down. He was just kind of pushing through a small little pinch there. He kind of went a little more in the open than I thought he would. He kind of surprised me. Man, I'm excited to go see him. This is the first buck ever harvested on this family farm. He's not a monster, but that's a pretty cool feeling. First buck on the family farm, so I'm tickled to death.
Alright, so this is where we shot him. This is where he went into the bank right here. And here in a minute, we already found some blood on this tree right here. So we know he took this trail up and we've heard him crash. So it's been about an hour since we shot him. So we're gonna go see if we can't find him. Blood on both sides of that tree right there. Right there he is. He is that buck from yesterday that we had on camera. He's 9.
He's 9?
Yep.
That goes 20 minutes.
I know. We're literally, you can see the food plot from down there. Oh man. He's young, but that's a pretty good first buck for the family farm, ain't it?
Yep.
Well, both Ashley and Jeremy's hunt, they didn't last very long. Matter of fact, the actual kill footage and the footage of the deer was very small. You know, we spent days preparing the land and preparing and planting food plots for Jeremy's harvest that took about 20 seconds. Maybe if that, I'm not really sure. But you know, it reminds me of life. James chapter 4 verse 14 tells us that life is like a vapor. It appeareth for a little while, then quickly vanisheth away. The older I get, the more I realize that is absolutely the truth. You know, we're getting ready to roll into Christmas, and it seems like Christmas just got over with last month, in retrospect, as far as life goes. Life gets busy and life gets fast. But what we've got to make sure that we remember in life is the things that, it's not the deer that we harvest that's going to matter. It's not going to be the things that we build up in life. It's not going to be all the turkey calls that we can make, or all the deer calls that we can make, or the duck calls that we can make. It's more about Jesus. And if you don't know him as your personal Savior, that's what it's all about. All the rest of this stuff on this life, on this earth, is rust and dust. It's going to go away. It's going to be gone. But the one thing that's going to last forever, the one thing that's going to last for eternity, is your salvation. James chapter 4, verse 14. Life is like a vapor. It appeareth for a little while, but quickly vanisheth away.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Loophold's Dream Season Live. On this week's show, we're going to meet up with Brody Hatcher and Tyler Arnold in northern Missouri. Both of these guys were fortunate enough to wrap their tags around two giant target bucks. I'm in here today hunting a pinch point leading to a standing cornfield, hoping to get a look at a buck that we call Five-Head Sun. I've got Reconics pictures of him, but haven't seen him on the hoof yet. It's phase 10. The deer are starting to move into a feeding pattern. So the season's getting pretty late, but there's still plenty of time to fill that tag. So I'm gonna get quiet. It's getting about that time for deer to start moving. And as always, we thank you for watching and we hope you enjoy the show.
And I just start putting a bunch of cameras out, moving cameras around. That deer that I shot with my bow has showed back up in here after that deer that I shot with my bow. We had history of him last year, had encounters of him last year.
You got him. Got that, oh boy. This thing is a giant 8-point.
Woo, baby! Oh, yes.
Oh. Woo.
Hey there, I'm Brody Hatcher, and it is Tyler and I's first season with Fury Outdoors, and we both was very fortunate enough to fill both of our rifle tags during Missouri rifle season. Jumping back to the 2018 season, that's when me and Tyler first started hunting together. Last year in 2020, Tyler, he'd actually killed a big deer early off, and I'd actually caught up with a deer that we called splits. And while I was chasing splits, we actually encountered a young 8-pointer that was soon to be 3.5, 4.5-year-old. And I had multiple encounters with him, and we just decided that we needed to give him another year. And it's a good thing that we did, because this deer, he just blew up into a giant of an 8-pointer. And Tyler actually catches up with this deer this season during the rifle season. So you're gonna see that here in just a little bit. So here it is, 2021. Tyler and I, we both have high hopes. Jumping into the summer of 21, our main focus was to get cameras out and get inventory. We needed to move a couple stands and food plots. I know that we was gonna put a couple new food plots in. So right before season, I started getting pictures of a big 9-pointer at the home farm. Between the end of September and the middle of October, we hunted hard. It's kind of slow there in the slow periods. And we'd actually seen some really good deer, just not the deer that we was after. But there towards the middle of October, I'd started getting pictures of a deer that I didn't have any history of. He just showed up, which happens more times than not. And this deer caught my attention. He'd been daylighting quite a bit, showing up every 2 to 3 days. So we went in there on some MRI and hunted a couple times early, but never did see him. So the evening of October 29th, Tyler and I went in there to the home farm and started hunting this deer again. And I told Tyler as we was sitting there, I said, tonight's gonna be the night that we see this deer, because he'd been showing up on cloudy, windy days, and it was a cloudy and windy day. It's October 29th, back in here at the home farm.
deer on this 11-pointer. He showed up like 4 times in the last 10 days, and they've all been daylight. Every time we've hunted here, it's been sunny and nice. But tonight we got an overcast, and this deer's been showing up with an overcast. He hasn't been here on them sunny days. So I know a week ago, this past Thursday, he was here at 6 o'clock, and it was a windy day and gloomy day like it is today. So we've already got a turkey out here, and it should be a pretty good evening. Got him. Yeah. I thought he's gonna duck a little. I aimed just a hair low. He didn't drop any, did he? If we penetrated in there and got that hard. I aimed a little low, but dude, he's a stud. I thought he was gonna drop some though. I could have waited for him to come over here a little closer, but what he's been doing is he's been going down in here at the bottom of this clover plot and down here at my camera. And he's been going down there, and I don't know what he's been doing out here. So it was one of them things, you either take the shot or have a chance of him going down here and just walking off. I don't know, guys, we'll review the footage and run over to DeerCast and see what it says there. So, well, we just got back to the truck and left the arrow down there, found a little bit of blood. According to DeerCast, it's not a lethal shot. We're gonna leave it for tonight and just come back in the morning. Either way, I'm sorry that it wasn't an ethical shot right off the bat, but we go look at the footage, it might be. So we'll keep you guys posted. Probably holler back at you in the morning or maybe tonight after we look at the footage and get some more opinions on it. So stay tuned. So here it is the next day. I get a couple buddies around, which I'm very thankful for, to help me look for this deer. It's actually the opening day of Missouri youth season, so we leave the bow in the truck and we start tracking this deer. We track him a couple hundred yards and run out of blood, and so the only thing we did from there was grid search, and we grid searched for 3 hours. And unfortunately, you know, we wasn't able to recover this deer, but going back to DeerCast track, you know, it's a non-lethal hit. So it's the next day, I go in there to the home farm, and I just start putting a bunch of cameras out, moving cameras around. I did everything in my power to just try to get a picture of this deer to tell me that this deer is still alive. So over the next 3 weeks, me and Tyler, we actually hunt real hard.
you know, still haven't got a picture of this deer, and next thing you know, it's Missouri rifle season. So I'm up to bat first here at the rifle season opener, and actually go in on this permission farm that I got, thinking, you know, we're going here and after this shooter because I still don't have a picture of this deer. And we go in there and hunt. It's slow. We get down midday, go over to our lease where that big 8-pointer is on the MRI that we have with him, and we're sitting there in the blind, and I look at my cell cam, and sure enough, that deer that I shot with my bow shows up in the middle of the food plot at 1:23 in the afternoon. So I tell Tyler, like, hey, let's get down. We'll run over there. There's a ladder stand that we can hunt this CRP because the wind was wrong for that food plot. So we get down, hightail it over there, and hunt that evening. Unfortunately, though, we didn't see him, but I did get a trail cam picture of him at 5:30 that evening chasing a doe through the food plot. So here it is, Sunday morning. Tyler's up to bat. He's got the gun in hand. We're going in on the lease. We got high hopes on the MRI that we have that he's going to catch up with this 8-pointer that we'd passed last year and end the story on this giant.
Sunday, November 14th, the second day of rifle season here in Missouri. I'm finally back up to bat. It's been a couple weeks since I've actually got to hunt. I've been filming Brody since he had a little bit of bad luck on his boat bug. We come over here to our lease. Hopefully one of our shooters that we have on this farm show up for us this morning where I can maybe get a crack at one, but Brody's big deer that he shot back in postseason showed back up at 1:30 yesterday in the same plot where he shot at him back in October. So we come over here so we're close, and deer cast is great all day today. Front finally blowed out. We got high pressure coming in today, so looking forward to a good hunt. We're on a big biologic final forage plot, so fingers crossed that we can get it done today with a boomstick.
See him down there in the woods?
He's in the woods?
Yeah, to the right. Should just be able to see his head.
I see him. Yeah, it's a broke G3 buck from last year.
He gonna bed down right there, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he just bedded down.
Well, we got a pretty good 8-point down here that I don't know if he just come in and bedded down or if he's been bedded down there for a while and just stood up and we just seen him. But like I say, it's been pretty slow until just now. We've seen a couple deer early, but we're gonna ride it out here all day. See what happens with this deer here.
I think it's that bent brow buck, that 8-pointer from last year.
Keep an eye on him. I really think I can kill him right there. He's 280.
Still step. He's moving.
I need him to turn just straight left broadside where he's at.
If he stops right there.
You got him?
Yep. You got him. Rack another one. You hit him.
He's done for. About that, oh boy. 300 yards. just dumping. The Winchester bullet put a whopping on him. I'm about 99% sure this is a deer that we passed in the same plot last year and all over this farm. It's a 5.5-year-old 8. We call him the bent brow 8. He's got one of his brow tines got a little hook or a bend in it. But I think I'm officially tagged out in Missouri. So the Winchester did his job, 7 mag. Like I said, 300 yards, and he only made it about 3 or 4 steps. So we're fired up. We're gonna give him a couple minutes and we'll go down there and see if we can put our hands on him. Dude, this thing is a giant 8-point. Well, Deercast said it was going to be great, and great it was. We come in here to our lease this morning. Actually, the first time that we've hunted this farm all year. We got in here this morning, and around 10 o'clock, this guy stood up down here in the CRP below us, about 300 yards, locked down with a doe, and ran a few smaller bucks off. And we were able to get a shot on him. It's a deer we know real well. We passed him all over this farm last year and out of that same blind a couple different times. We were hoping at 5.5 he would kind of blow up into a big 8, and that's exactly what he did. Super excited and blessed to be able to do what we do and hunt the farms and manage the farms that we get to manage, and super excited to end my season here in Missouri with a big 5.5-year-old 8-point that we've got a lot of history with.
Here's to never missing a day of hunting camp. Because with Deercast, you can take camp with you all season long. Get ahead of your game.
You know, it's a bittersweet moment to actually end the story on such a great deer. You know, this deer, we had history of him last year, had encounters of him last year, and, you know, no one deserves it more than Tyler. We went in there on MRI, and he got the job done. So here we are, it's the next morning. We're going back in there after the deer that I was after. You know, still excited and stoked about how Tyler had killed that 8-pointer, going in there on that MRI. And, you know, we're going in there with high intentions that we're going to see this deer, and I'm going to tag out as well.
Well, here we are, back in here on the home farm. This ladder stand that we come in here and hunted the other night. In here after that deer that I'd shot with my bow. Don't know if he's hanging out across the road or coming over here. I'd assume that he's probably going back and forth wherever the hot does are, so hopefully we can lay eyes on him here today or within the next few days, and we'll be keeping you guys posted. Here's this other one.
Got him.
Ready?
Yeah.
Matt! Matt! He's down, dude. He is down. Woo, baby. Oh, yes. That's the deer. And he's down. Right there, buddy.
Good job.
We just ended the story on a giant. Oh, man.
We come in here after this deer. We got pictures of him across the road yesterday chasing a doe. Oh. Oh. Woo. Gonna go over here to deer cast track and we'll flip the body around here. And I'd say hit him right about there. Looks like old double lung, quartering away. We already know he's down, so we're gonna work our way down here and get our hands on a Missouri Giant, baby. My biggest deer ever. Missouri Giant, let's go. Looks like he crashed right down through here. Right here he is. Right here he is. I'm talking a giant of a deer. A giant. What a stud. Well, here we are. We just ended the quest for this deer that I'd been chasing all bow season. He was showing up pretty regular in daylight, and we went in there and hunted him a few times. The last time we'd hunted him, I said, this will be the day that we see him, because he's been here on cloudy, windy days. And sure enough, he come in there and I'd shot him with my bow. I didn't make the best of shots, and I want to apologize for that one more time. But sure enough, we got it done this morning. Deer cast said great, and we're in here getting it done. It'd be my biggest Missouri deer ever, my biggest deer ever at all. So I want to thank Tyler again for being able to hunt with me here. And I want to thank all you guys for following along on this journey. I want to wish everybody else the best of luck out there. And we're going to get this sucker drug out of here, and we're going to be taking him to the taxidermist. You know, I'm just thankful to be able to redeem myself on this deer, and just thankful to finally get this deer on the ground. And we need to be ethical about it when we have the chance to harvest them. And I messed it up, you know, there during bow season, and I apologize for that again. You know, I'm just thankful to be able to end the story on this deer. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I want to thank you guys for following along on this journey of Tyler and I's. And stay tuned for Taylor Riggins' elk hunt. He's got an elk hunt coming up here pretty soon, and it is action-packed. So congrats to him again, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Louisville's Dream Season Live.
You know, we at Drury Outdoors have had a long-standing relationship with Mossy Oak that spans some 30 plus years. As we've watched Mossy Oak grow, we've watched them allow a lot of their people to connect with the outdoors. And one of the aspects is Mossy Oak Properties, the land brokerage division. You know, we had a unique opportunity to list a parcel of property with Mossy Oak Properties, exactly how they listed it on the corporate side, the wording that they chose, and those listing agents understand rural property. They understand what you're trying to do and really what you believe in and what your passions are. It's good to know that you've got an agent that understands your passion. So if you're buying or if you're selling, check out mossyoakproperties.com and give them a chance, because they understand the passion, particularly in the outdoors, the way we are passionate about the sport of hunting. By all means, if you haven't checked them out, please do. Go to mossyoakproperties.com.
What matters to you right now? If this past year has taught us anything at all, it's that we need to redefine what matters to us. What matters to us is spending time with our people.
God, we thank you for this food.
And giving thanks for all that we've been given. At Mossy Oak, what matters to us is helping you get closer to nature. What matters to us is in our DNA.
Hey, buddy, like they say down at the barbecue shop, when they hand you that sandwich and put paper around it, that's a wrap. Week 10 is done. Mossy Oak Moments Live. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a monumental task between a lot of people here at Mossy Oak, a lot of great field content coming in from our buddies out there. It's a pretty special thing, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say right now, we're going to probably be back with something I love talking about this spring, and hopefully it's Mossy Oak Moments Turkey Edition. Hey, Mossy Oak Go, y'all check it out. Merry Christmas.